So this is Motivic Transference. This is a groove, R&B groove in 12/8 time signature, with a bit of transference between this sort of quarter note triplet idea, motif, if you like, from going from bass drum to hi-hat and back to bass drum again. So what I'm going to do first, this is from Tommy Igoe's Groove Essentials 2, and it's groove number 69. It's the slow version. I'm just going to play the chart as if I was playing it, if I was just reading it in a jam session. And put in some fills and things and maybe change some sections. But I'm just going to do it how I feel it at the time. If I did it again, I might change, something slightly different. And then I'll go over some simple ideas for fills and things at the end of this, so you can get started with some on your own. Here we go. So Motivic Transference.
Groove 69. Slow.
I'll turn this off now. Me just playing through the chart, and now I'm going to first of all just show you variations. So the main groove is that, and that's the first groove on the top of the page. The variation A is what I actually started to play that one in the D section, which is a bit more sparse in the bass drum particularly. So that one goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and So you notice that the open hi-hats are in two different places in each bar. And variation B kind of turns the transference idea up on its head. So you've got the open hi-hats first and the bass drums in the middle going across the bar line. And it has this little 7-stroke roll at the beginning, which I played beginning with my right hand, playing double strokes, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, and think of 1 and a 2, 1 e and a 2. So. And up to speed, that would be something like. Yeah, so that's variation B. Another variation that I used once or twice was going onto the ride cymbal, playing the same as the original groove, but opening the hi-hat with my left hand. It just gives that extra tone, extra layer of sound, if you like, for a bit of variation in one of the sections. Okay, so now some ideas for fill-ins. I've just put a few down here. Like I say, if I played this, I'd probably play a different fill every time. Some might be similar-ish, but these ones would get you started, and I would encourage you to try and experiment yourself and try and come up with some variations. And eventually you'll settle on some that you like the sound of, that you probably have in your locker, that you can kind of rely on in this sort of feel and in this sort of situation. So on this, the fill sheet is actually, the first groove is just showing the main groove with stems down, just so you can see it if you're having a little difficulty seeing it the way it's written there. I don't suppose you will, but number 2, there's a simple little fill just at the end of the bar, which we'd maybe use as a end of phrase sort of thing. So it's just so it's just that last 4 and just play 4 and 1. The next fill, number 3, this one has it's a 2-beat fill, so it's the last 2 triplets of the second bar, if you like, but it started kind of set up, if you like, with the bass drum on the last part of the second triplet. So this one goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Personally, I would recommend, if you're doing that fill-in where you play the last 3 notes in this order, it makes sense to crash with your left hand. You could come off. If it's any faster, it would start to be a little bit awkward to get to the last note on there and then to the crash with the right hand. So it's good to get used to crashing with your left hand and just trying to get that synchronization with the left hand and the bass drum. Number 4 is another 2-beat fill, and it's just adding a couple of 16th notes in and some flams for the three triplets of beat 4, the 3 8th notes rather. So this one, the main fill is starting on on beat 3 of the second bar, starts on the floor tom-tom. Then we've got 2 soft left hands, so you get this idea. 1, 3 and a. 3 e and 3 e and e a. 3 e and e a. Yeah. So the idea is to get that loud, soft, soft, loud, loud, flam, flam, flam. So the whole thing, 3 and 4 and number 5 is a full bar fill. So this is using a lot of flams and interspersing with the bass drum. So the actual fill starts. So it's 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, and 1 and a, 2, 3 and a, 4 and a. I would just take care when you're doing that you're trying to get a good balance between and keep the rhythms even. It sounds a bit odd because we're playing in triplets, but it's a 2-note kind of pattern. So just trying to keep the bass drum level with the sound of the flams. Yeah. And the last one is another 1 full bar fill, and it's got these little 16th triplets in the middle. So if you think of the first part of this fill as So 1 and triplet and 2 and triplet and. So we've got the loud. Essentially, if you look at where the accents are, it's this rhythm. So 1 and 2 and a. And we're in the middle of that, we've got this little triplet that I would don't attack the snare drum, just play it. You're essentially aiming at the bass drum. So that's where the emphasis should be. So it's. So again, I've done start on the floor tom for the second half. 1 and 2 and a. Yeah, so that one all together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Slight variation there. Yeah, so it's up to you to experiment with where you play the notes. You can play any way you want to do it. So, like I say, these are just to get you started and have a little play around with a few of the ideas that I've had there, and then hopefully come up with a few yourself as well. So, have fun.